welcome in. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe, Brainy Bunch? Let me know down in the chat. Is it just me or do I not like the quality of this? Maybe it's just like the lighting in here. If that did anything. I mean, it's okay. It might just be the lighting, to be honest with y'all. Okay, but yeah. So we finna stay on for a little bit, right? I wanted to come over here, get a vibe for YouTube, okay, and see how this goes, right? Y'all already know we just came over here from TikTok, but I will pray into the card since we are um, in a different part of the collective over here on YouTube, okay. All right. I call upon our great divine, our most high, our divine ancestors, and our divine spirit guides to give us divinely accurate messages that we need to hear today. Not what we want to hear, but what we need to hear each individually, so each individual can grow, learn, and evolve on their journeys in the way that you need them to. Please allow me to deliver each and every message to each and every soul in a divinely eloquent manner that allows for them to interpret the messages and understand the messages the way they need to for their journeys. In Jesus' name we pray, amen, and so it is, Ashe. What's up, Spirit? Alright, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat. Let me know, okay? I don't know, starting over on YouTube Live, right, makes me feel like how when we first started on TikTok Live, right? Um, and we wait and we see who guides us to our live, right? Who God guides us to the live, um, to see who needs messages from the divine, to see who has questions for their spiritual journey, or just has a general question they think the rest of the collective will benefit from, right? I truly love the live format, the streaming format, right? That is maybe one of my favorite formats when doing content, right? I like the long form and I like the short form video, right? But I have always been like big fan of the live content, right? That live streaming has been honestly an adventure with you guys, right? It's been a journey, right? And I'm honestly so honored and I'm grateful for the fact that we're able to go live on YouTube. You feel me, right? Um, this being the first live we've done on YouTube. And I hope you guys subscribe, right? Say hi in the chat, you know, get to know me, right? As I get to know my Soul Tribe family over on YouTube, okay? We just came over from TikTok, right? If you don't have me on TikTok, make sure you add me on TikTok, right? If you don't know me, the only reason I'm not at my desk right now is because I have sustained an injury, and it's just too much to try to hobble myself over there, right? So we're gonna stay where it's comfortable, right? That's not going to affect the accuracy of your spiritual messages, right? If you want a 3 card or a 5 card reading, let me know down in the chat. If you read the description of this live, then you also know like the prices, right? Where you can send the money at. For the energetic exchange, right? All of that, all the rules, everything that you need to know is in the description of this live, okay? This live will be saved to our past live playlist, okay? Just like going forward, all the other lives, okay? I want them to um, be in one area for you guys, especially when we do collective readings, right? I want the collective readings to be in one spot for you guys, okay? Um, so make sure, especially if you want a free 5 card reading, right, we have a giveaway going on right now for a free 5 card reading. Okay, so that free 5 card reading, all you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, and all you have to do is follow me on TikTok, right? My tag on TikTok and YouTube are the exact same. I'm Alea, right? Comment when you're done, and then you will be entered in for the free 5 card giveaway. Okay. A little bit about myself, since I know that we are new to doing live streams on YouTube, right? A little bit about myself. I'm a spiritual scientist. I have been on my spiritual journey since the end of 2020. I have been practicing tarot since 2021, right? I did not charge anybody for my tarot readings the first 4.5 years, right? So that, I could practice and I could learn, and I had, different things I had to go through on my journey, right? In order for God to guide me through tarot, right? Right. A lot of people don't realize when it comes to tarot, you do have certain lessons of letting go of your ego, right? You do have certain lessons regarding trusting your intuition, using your spiritual discernment, right? It's so funny. The literally, when was this? Was this yesterday? It might have been yesterday, guys. So yesterday, um, I was on live over on TikTok, right? And once we reach 1,000 family members on TikTok, we will be going live with TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time. We're just waiting on TikTok's family members to grow, so that we have that access point, right, to be able to use Streamlabs, because Streamlabs is really strict. But yeah. But anywho, so we were talking about yesterday on TikTok, right? And we were talking about warlocks, right? And different like patterns that narcissists have, energy vampires have, right? We were talking about different things we've experienced on our journey with when encountering those kind of individuals, right? And it's so funny because now I know, myself included, 3 tarot readers. Hi, welcome in. How you doing? How you feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat. Is it Kylie? Right? Um, but yeah, so we were literally talking about, like, just different things we experience, and that, like, I now know 3 people, right? 3 tarot readers who have had to go through a lesson involving a warlock. You feel me? Um, and like I tell people, we do, as tarot readers, you do have to go through certain lessons that help your spiritual discernment, right? Help you trust your intuition, right? And let go of your ego, right? So you do have to go through some humbling challenges. You do have to encounter what feels like final boss energy, and see if you're gonna make it out of here, right? Like, type of, like, I don't know. It gets so crazy and so wild, and the last 6 years have honestly been just a roller coaster. Um, Hi, Hidden Key Tarot. How you doing? How you feeling? What's the vibe? But it's all like an all good fun though. You feel me? Like, yes, I was in that toxic situationship with that warlock. Yeah, but your girl made it out because she trusts her intuition and she trusts her spiritual discernment, right? She trusted the divine intelligence that the Lord was raining through her crown chakra, right? I listened to my dreams, right? I didn't just you know stay in a poor situation longer than I needed to, right? Because really, that 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 relationship helped strengthen my gifts, right? um You said tarot scares you a little bit, right? If you have any questions, let me know, right? And I'm here to guide you through that fear, because a lot of the time it's conditioned, right? A lot of the time it's what we've been desensitized to. Um, so yeah, right. We over here we use tarot as divinity tools, right, to communicate with God, universe, spirit, the Lord, right, whatever you want to call them. Just put respect on their name, as our creator, as our most high, right. Um, we always pray into the cards, okay, to talk to divine entities and beings, our divine ancestors, our divine spirit guides, right. We don't talk to dark entities over here. We don't talk to demons, none of that. I don't do that over here. It's very it I We just don't play that, right? That stuff is very weird. Um and that's why I say you need spiritual discernment always, right? Because your spiritual discernment is going to help you tell the difference between a light worker and an equity worker, okay? um so hidden asks, please general guidance for me, right? So, what you call it? We are doing for right now. When I Great question, Pauline. I'm about to answer right now by answering Hidden Keys Tarot's question as well, right? So right now we are doing personal questions, right? In the description, I have all the rules for the personal questions, right? It is 3 cards or 5 cards, or you can even get a 1 card for a simple yes or no, right? Um, it's with Cash App or PayPal only. Um, because we are new to YouTube, so I don't really know like the whole gifting situation on YouTube. Um, I'm still learning, like be patient with me, right? So once I figured that out, because I think you guys can even send money on YouTube, but I don't know how it works, right? This is still new to me, right? This is our first time going live on YouTube, right? So we are still figuring this out. So the only option right now to get a personal reading is through Cash App or PayPal. Okay, you can ask a yes or no question. You can ask a deep spiritual question for your guidance, relationship, pregnancy, business, career, right? Family drama, right? Whatever it is you want answers from the Lord from, we gonna get into it, right? Let me see. Okay, Kylie. So I hope that answered your question, Hidden Key Tarot and Pauline. And hi, Pauline. I do see your hi, and then I see Kaylee. Um, I hope I'm pronouncing your guys' names right, by the way. I butcher names all the time, so please be patient with me. You're asking, is it accessing a greater power? If so, can it access a more diabolical one? Yes. Um, it is accessing a greater power, right? I told you why you need spiritual discernment, right? Because there are those tarot readers like me who work with God, who get messages and divine guidance from the Lord and from our divine ancestors and spirit guides, right? And then there's people who communicate with darker, lower entities, who don't have even their best interest at heart, let alone yours, right? So it really depends, right? A lot of people confuse the light workers and the wickedness workers, right? um because of what they've been taught about tarot, right? So a lot of people don't realize that there's always duality when it comes to every single thing. Like love and hate is a duality, right? Light and dark is a duality as well. So when it comes to tarot, it's not about um the cards themselves, right? It is about the user and their intent for the cards, right? So I intend to help you guys grow, learn, and evolve on your journeys, okay? By getting you the spiritual messages that you need from the divine, right? There's other people who are not forthcoming about their intent. There's people who just don't have the best intent for you when they're doing the readings, right? But you have to be the one to be able to see through those certain things, okay? That's why I would only um, I got you, right? Sorry, finish my train of thought and then I'll answer that question for you. Um, I would there's literally only, like, other than me doing my own readings, right? There's really only one tarot reader that I would pay and allow to do my tarot readings. And just because, I know her work, and I know that she is working for the Lord to get these messages to us, right? So yeah, so I that's the only so that's why I'm very picky, because I can read on my own energy, so I don't need someone else to do it. But so so Kylie wants to know, are we in full control as a sort of interpreter? I wouldn't say we're in full control. You see what I'm saying, right? When I do a reading, the messages that come through are from the divine. They're just coming through me, right? So everything I tell you is what the divine wants you to hear, right? It's just coming through me, okay, to you, right? It's more so like, that's why I tell you guys, you have to consent to me reading on your energy, because really, I I'm using my energy to read on your energy, right? And this is having, and the messages that you need are being interpreted, right? And cycled through. Okay, so it's like I tell people, God is just energy, right? So really, God is getting off of your energy and showing me the answers that you need, right? So I'm not in control of the reading, right? Um, I've had people get 3 card or 5 card readings from me, and you know, God decides that they're gonna get an extra card or two, right? Um, to help explain the message further, right? But I have no say in that, right? Just like I have no say in the reversals. My cards are always right side up unless the Lord tells me to put it in reverse, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, right? Because I let God guide the reading. I hope that answers your question. And honestly, I love answering your guys' questions, because a lot of people just don't know these things, or they're like scared to dip their toe in the water because they don't know too much about it, right? And that's my job as a spiritual coach, as a spiritual trainer, to guide you guys through this, to give you the information that you need, right? Um, if you see my No, because I would feel it. I have a lot of gifts, Kaylee. This I go into it, right? I'm using my clairsentience, my clairaudience, right? My cognizance, right? My clairaugustance, right? I'm using a lot of my six senses to get the readings. So whenever I start, like, if I were to feel an entity that I did not call upon, right? Six. Yeah, because I would stop immediately and I would start praying, because I would not want that entity in my space. right? So yeah. That's when we start bringing out the Bible Bible scripture, right? Start calling on our Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, right? We start calling the divine forces in after that, right? We don't play about that. Um, and with our space being protected, right? We don't usually have to worry about that kind of stuff. Um, see, what is Cash App talking about right now? I don't know, but yeah, good, good. That's what my hope is, that you will leave here with a better, clearer understanding of what tarot is and how it's supposed to be practiced safely, um, in a divine manner. Okay, right. I always tell people, when you think about tarot, remember, it's not the tool itself that's inherently evil, right? You can't say that a pew pew device is inherently evil, right? If one person is using it to defend themselves but the other person is using it for chaos, right? So same thing with tarot, right? Someone's using tarot to get the divine messages from the Lord, someone else is using it to speak with darker entities they have no business speaking to. Okay. So yeah, that is just a little bit about tarot. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you guys. More than happy to help you guys understand about tarot. Right? There's nothing to be scared of. Right? When it's done right. Um, there's so many horror movies that try to desensitize you and tell you that tarot is innately bad, right? But um, that's the plan, right? That's the purpose, that's their intent, right? They want you to view it as something that isn't and can't be of light, right? But that's why they make those movies. Okay. And a lot of the time people will bring up the Bible, and they have misinterpreted the Bible as well, right? With surface level faith. That being said, the Bible is talking about people who practiced you know spirituality, but in a darker sense, right? And in that sense it would be witchcraft, right? They did everything that out of darkness, right? Out of wickedness, out of inequity. Those people who worked with energy, those people who worked with magic, because magic is just energy manipulation, right? Or alchemy, right? So those people in the Bible times that they talk about using in wickedness or using witchcraft, like that, right? Those are people who are literally using energy, 1010 on the clock, right? Using energy, um, not responsibly, right? With the responsibility card here, they're using that energy to create more chaos in the world, to for selfish reasons, right? So yeah, a lot of the time people mistake what they're talking about in the Bible and how they're only talking about the people who did those things evilly, and the Bible is just wanting you to be aware that there are people who use magic in a evil light, and those you need to pay attention to that kind of stuff, right? It doesn't really, there's a couple scriptures that do go into a little bit about magic on the light side, but it's not a lot, because most of the time it's talking about divine channelers, people who can manifest, right? It's talking about people like Jesus, right? Job, right? Moses, right? So not all the time it's going to talk about the light work that's also being done, right? But when you think about putting oil on something, right, that's magic, right? That is literal magic, right? When we're talking about anointing something, that's magic, right? So the Bible talks a lot about magic. It's just a lot of people misinterpret it, and misinterpret that it talks about light magic and it talks about dark magic, and confuse light magic for dark magic. They will just see all magic as bad, all magic as wrong, all magic to be evil, right? And you could be like, well, well, what is magic? Magic is literally just energy, right? um I tell you guys this a million times. Magic is literally just energy, and we as humans, as the co-creators, have the ability to transform energy, right? Transforming energy is literally magic, right? If you know what alchemy is, if you don't know what alchemy is, there's a book on my Boss Up playlist on YouTube, right? Go check out the alchemy book in there to learn about alchemy, and literally it tells you in that book it's just transforming energy, right? That is literally all magic is. How it's always been, right? Magic has always just been transforming energy, right? Thermodynamics says that energy can't be created or destroyed. If we take it a step further with spirituality, unless it's by the Most High, but we as co-creators can transform energy, but we're not the creator, so we cannot create or destroy energy. We can only transform it. Okay, this is backed by science, right? This idea. We are just taking it one step further in the spiritual sense, right? And that's what I do on a daily basis, right? We got to get to the spiritual knowledge that the Lord has at hand for us, right? As well as I do tarot, right? So spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge, right? Tarot, talking about the Akashic records, talking about dreams, we do all of that over here. Okay. So if that's something you're interested in, then this is very much so your Soul Tribe family, right? I always pray over my lives and ask God to guide the people who are meant to be here to be here. So if you're end up in my space and you vibing, you're meant to be here, right? So go ahead and subscribe so that you can join our Soul Tribe family, okay? Alrighty. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the chat. Whether it be about tarot, whether it be about spirituality, right? And that's the umbrella term, so it's a lot of things we can talk about. The other day we were talking about crystals, right? Really, there's a lot of things we can talk about when it comes to spirituality, right? If you're not spiritual, right, and you're like, oh well, I'm like a Christian, or I'm another different religious faith, right? You can ask questions too, right? Curiosity didn't hurt nobody, right? Curiosity didn't hurt the cat. It was really the people who were trying to stop the cat from being curious that hurt the cat, right? um let's understand that, right? um oh, I'm gonna butcher your name, but hi, Kiyuzamon. Why do I want to say Kiamon? I don't know. Sorry for my One Piece watchers, right? You know Kiamon, but that is not how you say your name, is it? Sorry. I'm just, it's a little different for me. I'm trying to pronounce. I'm gonna switch cards here. Right. Welcome in, guys. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat, okay? I want to know. I want to get to know you guys. I do care about you guys. I know this is our first time on YouTube Live. And we are, building our community over here too, guys. But remember, I do run a brand, okay? So I was just on TikTok Live not too long ago. We're going to stay on here for a little bit just to get that ball rolling. But make sure you go check out my other social medias so you can join the collective on those social medias and have more of our soul tribe to interact with, right? I would say, like, on YouTube our soul tribe is growing, right? TikTok our soul tribe is growing. You can join us on the Instagram one, right? I'm really trying to get y'all into this Discord, right? Because there's so many things I want to talk to you guys about. There's so many things I I want to do with you guys, but like just there's like, you know, certain places to put it on and certain places not to put it on. You said, you feel me, like I don't know. I just feel like for us to be a close knit community, no matter how large we grow to, right? Discord is really going to help us with that, right? Yes, we have the YouTube community page, which you guys are allowed to post spiritual topics on, right? If you have a spiritual question, or you have you want to talk about a spiritual topic, right, with other people in our collective, you have that option to do that on our YouTube community page, right? So as long as you subscribe to my page for 24 hours, you get to you know, participate with the rest of the collective on the community page. So that's another option. I just feel like if it gets too much, the Discord um, is a more controlled variable, right? Where I can control the environment just a tad better. Um, so that, you know, we make sure that we keep spreading love and light in our community, right? So Discord's a little bit better for that. I mean, YouTube community page might have some good things, but I think I like Discord better because, like I said, I want to have voice calls with you guys, video calls, like, and actually be able to like have like chats with you guys, and especially with our honorary Soul Tribe family members, right? So whenever we unlock subscriptions on YouTube, right, there will be an option for that for you guys on YouTube to join our honorary Soul Tribe family member. Right, there's 2 devotion plans currently on TikTok, right? So you'll be able to do that on YouTube if you want to stay on YouTube and not go on TikTok eventually, right? So whenever that is whenever that is. But I would want to like have meetings with you guys, not so much as a live, but more so like just private meetings with you guys, so that we can discuss how we're going to grow our Soul Tribe family, right? How we're going to work towards world peace and what it is we're going to do to keep awakening more souls, right? So literally that is what you would be devoting yourself to as an honorary Soul Tribe family member, when you join the subscriptions, whether that be on here when that becomes available, or now on TikTok, right? So if you wanted to become an honorary Soul Tribe family member today, you can do that on TikTok. You do get, depending on which devotion plan, you do get moderator access to Discord, which is why I'm saying that I want Discord to be our community's close-knit communication. And then, right, you can still you can DM me on Discord, you can DM me on Instagram, you can DM me on TikTok. um I think that's about it, right? Like Instagram, TikTok, and Discord is where you can DM me, right? But you can you know, on the YouTube community page, you're allowed to post things there, especially if you like have a question for me, and you think the rest of the collective, or you want to share something about your spiritual journey on there, like you're able to do that. If you have a question about tarot, if you have a question about your spiritual journey, you know, you're able to post those on the community page, right? If you just want to share something you saw, like you, you know, saw Matrix Society doing something, or you saw like a chemtrail, or you saw like a an animal, or you know, just something cool. You feel me, that you think has a spiritual message behind it, right? You can add that to the community page, okay? Um, that is all welcomed, right? Just don't get crazy or out of pocket, right? Because then I'll have to ban you, right? And I don't want to have to lose a family member that way. Okay. So yeah, then you have like TikTok, you can DM me. um Twitch, right? We do have Twitch is probably like the only one that's only for live streaming, right? That, I think you can DM me on there, but I wouldn't hold you to it, right? I think we have to be friends on there for that to work. So I'm not really sure. Okay. But yeah, I'm grateful to at least have gotten 4 likes for the first time we've been live, right? Definitely gonna make sure this saves in the playlist, okay? Just make sure you guys are saying hi when you come in, right? Even if you just send the wave thing, right? I will still say hi and I will try to pronounce your name, okay? Um, no matter how big I get, guys, I promise you, we stay humble over here. It don't matter, right? Our prices stay humble, right? My attitude towards your gifts and your love stays humble, right? I'm not, none of that's gonna switch up on you. None of that's gonna change. Because I want God to keep blessing us all, right? And certain lessons we don't need to go through twice, right? Okay, period. But if you're interested in a 3 card or 5 card reading, or just a 1 card yes or no question, let me know down in the chat and I'll tell you the steps. Or you can read the description of the live, and you can get the steps there. If you don't know what an energy exchange is, let me know down in the chat and I will um, explain it to you, right? For an energy exchange, right? I don't have a YouTube option for the readings yet because again, this is our first live on YouTube. So when we work that out, I will allow you guys to like send the amount on YouTube so that it's you know that way it's easier for you guys, right? But for right now, and I want you guys to know, I like seriously, you do what was I saying? Okay, I forgot what I was saying, but I wanted to say something else, right? If you subscribe on the TikTok, and eventually, when YouTube has subscriptions, if you wanted to change your subscription from TikTok to YouTube, you can do that, right? As well as there are, to me, better perks with the subscriptions, right? Because you get more access to me, right? You get to have private video calls with me, private voice calls with me. Um, you get to literally have moderator access in the Discord channel, right? And I know for a fact I'm gonna need more moderators soon, right? Like I'm gonna need people who are loyal to the brand, right? Who are really devoted to making this world a better place, right? Where we can all experience peace and live our best lives, right? And where there's, no famine, um, no droughts, right? Like I want a world where I want to change this world for the better, right? And I need loyal, devoted people who also want to see a change in this world, right? So those are the only kind of people I will accept for my moderators when it comes to our lives, right? Because when we are able to do all 3 live streaming platforms at one time, we will need people to help moderate that, okay? Especially as we continue to grow, we will need more and more. Right now on TikTok, we do have one moderator, but she is a creator herself, so she can't always be live when I'm live, right? Sorry, she can't always come live when I'm live, right? Because like I said, she's also a creator herself. So and I give her, that space to do her, right? But I'm gonna need moderators for for YouTube, for TikTok, for Twitch soon here, right? So if you're truly you're truly wanting world peace, and you truly think we not even think, right? And you truly believe in the mission that we are here for, right? Then then I say, you know, join our Soul Tribe family, right? But as well, um, if you are interested in, you know, being a moderator for TikTok, YouTube, or Twitch, you know, just reach out to me, and we'll discuss it, right? Because eventually, I'm gonna have to give people those permissions. Okay. So we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna get that situated, right? Eventually, I would like to pay all my moderators. That's just something, a personal goal for me, is that I would like to pay all my moderators. I would like to, um, you know, pay the people on my team that are helping me when it comes to our live streams in the channel, right? That is just like a personal goal for me. So anybody who is involved in the behind the scenes, you know, would get paid. Um, you know, I would eventually decently. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, that's a personal goal for me. Once I'm able to start paying them, like I said, I told um, Julie already. I told Julie that eventually I would, you know, when I can pay her $20 an hour for her live, right? I would, you know, I would do that. And that goes for all for all my moderators, right? It goes for all the people that help us on this journey. Okay, right. Once I can start paying them $20 an hour, I will, right? And it will only go up as we grow. Okay, I'm a very generous person, so I truly believe that they should get raises as we grow as a soul tribe, right? Um, and the more we grow, the more help we'll need, right? Um, so right now, I mean, like we're still closing out year one of content, right? Creation, right? So I don't know what God has in store for us for this next year, but I really want to see, right? I really want to know, and I want to keep going. I want to keep pushing content, and I want to keep being here for you guys, right? Um, I wanna be someone you guys can depend on, right? Someone you guys can look up to, okay? Someone you guys can rely on, so that when it comes to this world peace, because I know there's so many of you out there who are literally sick of the world looking how it looks right now, operating how it operates right now, being subjected to live in a world where things aren't as they should be, right? I know so many of you are sick of it, right? And so many of you want change, okay? Um, I started this channel so we can be that change, okay? Right? So they can't say anything to us when there's billions of us, right? Um, all fighting for the same cause, all manifesting the same outcome, right? And that's world peace. They can't tell billions of people nothing, right? That's the mission I've come here for, um, is to awaken all the unawoken souls and really guide this world towards peace. Okay. And I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'm gonna keep pushing that, right? I'm 23. I hope to see you guys still when I'm 53. Okay. And we're still doing this, right? Um, that is my hope, right? There's not many people who go on a content journey for that long. Usually a decade is maybe where most of them cap, right? Um, but I honestly want to continue making content for the rest of my life, right? Um, I like this is what I love to do, and I really understood that, like, me becoming a doctor, right? It's really for my content, right? Me becoming a doctor is for my content, right? So that we can talk about certain topics and things, right? And I have the the knowledge and the degrees to speak on certain topics, so that when we speak on certain spiritualist topics, right, and we back it with the science, um, there's just, there's no disagreeing, right? And truly, there's things I want to figure out about the human mind and consciousness, just to help you guys, right? I want to understand the link between our conscious awareness and our brain capacity. I want to understand it because I want so many of you to consciously awaken, right? Become self-aware, so that you can be here now in the present moment and see the things that are going on around you. Okay, that is what I truly want for you guys, so you're able to live your heavenly ever afters, your happily ever afters here on planet Earth, on heaven, right? Because life, you either live in heaven or hell right now, right, in this present moment. Okay, so I want you guys to have all the tools that you need, right? I want to be able to explain it to you guys on a scientific level and on a spiritual level, right? So that nobody can disagree with what I have to say, okay? Or try to refute it or debunk it. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's not just going to be spiritual knowledge I'm coming with, but also scientific, physical knowledge I am coming with, right? And honestly, sometimes people need the spiritual to be explained physically, so that they, or scientifically, so that they can understand it better, and that is okay, right? But at the same time, everything that has a physical scientific explanation, Ben had a spiritual explanation to it, baby, right? So we are behind the eight ball. We don't know things because we are the ones behind, not the universe, right? So yeah, but that's just a little bit about me. You know what I'm saying? We do these lives every day. I am praying that we reach um, that goal soon on TikTok, so that we're able to go live with our entire family. Okay, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Right? I've been waiting. We have literally been wanting to go live on YouTube since we started this channel, guys. Since I started this channel, I've been wanting to go live on YouTube. And it's almost been a year and it's happening, right? So I'm not giving up, as long as you guys don't give up, okay? As long as, we are here interacting with one another, then I say everything I've done is for a reason. It's for the betterment of our planet, so that we can live in a world that perpetuates peace and not famine, heartbreak, war, thirst, you know, all the dystopia things. Because let us use our imaginations. Let us use our most powerful tool to stand against these constructions that the Matrix Society has placed on this world. Okay, let's find a way to break out of their box together, right? Let's topple the Matrix, please. Let us come up with a way to solve the world's problems, so that we can have world peace. Let's do that. Like y'all think it sounds crazy. I hope y'all don't think it sounds crazy, but like some people might think it sounds crazy, or some people might think it sounds very like hopeful, or just not realistic, right? But it is realistic, right? We have to be the ones to change inside of us first before we can make a change outside of us, right? So why not come together so that we can make that change? Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's very possible. We just have to work together, right? It's not one person can do it. You know what I'm saying? I need your guys' help. You know what I'm saying? I need you guys to be ready to move this planet in a better light in a better direction, so that so that planet Earth, Mother Gaia, stays with us for another billion some years, right? So the Lord doesn't have a reason to blow up the sun, right? So the Lord doesn't have a reason to crash the moon into the planet. So the Lord doesn't have a, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give the Lord a reason to destroy our planet, okay? But before we destroy it, right? So we could build a better life on this planet for us all. It just is going to take a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a community to build it, right? So that we get those things done. Okay? Alrighty, guys. We have been over here on the YouTube Live for about an hour now. We were over on TikTok for about an hour. Tomorrow for sure we'll do a channeled reading, right? Depending, we might do an all-nighter, right? I might pull an all-nighter to do my math homework in this textbook, and when we do that all-nighter, when the sun comes up, we will do the tarot reading, okay? Or I might take a nap live and then we do tarot reading. Okay, either one that comes first, you feel me? Okay, guys, I love you guys. Remember, we speak love, justice, and peace. Y'all have a blessed day. Amen. Our first live on YouTube was a success. Love you guys. Bye.